Hey guys, I'm going to be talking today about working with children. You may be a therapist who's interested in knowing what kind of things you can expect. If you find the underlying cause of something, and if can it actually change a child's symptoms or behaviours, whatever. And you may just have children and you want the best for them. So I'm kind of from both camps, but I'll try and speak to both of you. My first client that pops to my mind was a Swedish lady. Her child, I think, was about 4 years old, was suffering from extreme constipation, would wait a week or more without going to the toilet. I worked with her, so I spoke with her on Skype. I didn't see or speak to the child, and we worked on her fears and worries about the child, and I looked at some of the things in priority or in order of what it could be. So we spoke for about an hour, and then either that night or the next morning the child went to the toilet on its own, and for the first time ever, and then it's never come back. So it's pretty cool. So if your child has constipation, you want to look at all possible options for working with it instead of just using, say, laxatives. I also had another client in Hong Kong whose child had really difficulty going to the toilet. There was a lot of emotional aspects and was scared and maybe ashamed about doing it. And we spoke, and the child, I think that day, went to the toilet, and then that was never a problem again. So that's pretty cool too. I could tell you more to do with digestion, but for now that's pretty good. I was working with a client in London who was worried about her son, who had something to do, like a tic or something to do with the way they were speaking. And I didn't ever see the child. I only worked on her fears and worries about her child, and then looked at things that were affecting the child. And it took a few sessions, but she's seen massive improvements in his ability to talk and speak. So again, really amazing. And those are pretty amazing. I had a client who came to me before Christmas, and this one was very serious. She showed me her baby. Her baby was about the same age as my little girl. The mother was told by the doctors that the child needed a liver transplant, or the baby would die, and the chances of surviving a liver transplant were minimal. I said to her, look, I just work with strengthening what's weak, or looking for the underlying causes and clearing them. I don't know if I can help your child. And it was really difficult, to be honest, because she showed me her child, and I was emotional. I was worried and upset, and I needed to be as neutral as I could. But we worked for about 3 months, and just after, in January, I was in Mallorca for a break, and she called me to say that the baby was given the all clear, all the numbers were back in range. The doctors couldn't understand it. They'd never seen it happen before. They were very confused, so they were unsure about how to move forward. That's an amazing one. I'll get a full testimonial from that lady with a video, because there'll be people that won't believe that, but what I'm trying to say is that when you're working on a child, you don't have to speak to the child. So when I'm working with someone, it's not that they're just being hypnotized by my voice or anything. There's something else happening. What that is, I don't know. There's no science to back it up, and I'm not going to try and say I know exactly what's happening. I have my own opinion about what's happening, but it gets results. So you can work through someone. So if you're worried about a child, when there's emotion for a child, or you're worried or you're fearful, then that needs to be removed, because that can have effect on the child. And just yesterday I was here in Germany, and I was with my fiancée and her best friend, and she was talking about her that when we're going to leave, she was sad, and she's always sad when we leave, and I said, would you mind if I tell you the real reason behind that? And they both went, yeah, of course, that's what we're waiting for, but you don't want to just go around telling everyone everything, because you're just going to be exhausted and people think you're a show-off. So what the real sadness was, she was picking up on her little boy, that he was sad that when we were leaving. And there was a couple of other things that I cleared for the little boy. And I came back to her sadness and said, okay, think about us leaving now. And she was perfectly fine. And that emotion had gone, so I just worked on the child. If you're a parent, you could be picking up on your children's worries and fears, and it kind of creates a loop. So that's my first attempt at talking about working with children. It probably could have been much better, I apologise. But it's just, this stuff is working, and it's amazing with kids, working on kids. And I don't need to speak to the kids. So if you have any, nephews or whatever, or your children, and you'd like some, you're worried about them in any way, or bullying, I've got a testimonial from a lady whose child was being bullied, and we worked on it and resolved it. The week after it was all resolved, the kid was fine. So these type of things need to be resolved, and if you'd like any help with that, don't hesitate to get in touch, and I hope you like the video.